The atmosphere was serene aboard a first-class flight, the spacious cabin exuding an air of luxury. Passengers settled into plush seats, enveloped in comfort as they prepared for their journey. Flight attendants glided through the aisles, ensuring every need was met, cultivating an ambiance where tranquility reigned. Yet beneath the surface of this calm, a storm was brewing, one that would soon explode into public outcry and national debate. In the midst of this placid setting, a flight attendant's voice sliced through the air as she issued a command. "Sir, we're asking you to move to economy." Her tone was cold, her arms crossed, betraying no sign of warmth or empathy. All heads turned instinctively towards the man she was addressing, the only black person in first class. He sat poised in a well-tailored charcoal suit, calmly reading a financial magazine. The surprised gazes of the other passengers met his, waiting for a response. With calm composure, the man lifted his gaze, a slight furrow of confusion on his brow. "May I ask why?" he responded politely, his hand adjusting the gleam of his Rolex watch, as if to reinforce his dignity in the face of unexpected humiliation. Silence settled over the cabin as two flight attendants exchanged furtive whispers. One glanced at the seats with disdain before muttering, "We need the seat for someone more appropriate." It was a statement that hung heavy in the air, laden with unspoken biases, and it foreshadowed an incident that would lead to one of the most significant public relations disasters in airline history. That man, whose dignity was now being questioned, was Malcolm Brooks, the charismatic CEO of a multi-billion-dollar tech empire. He had just concluded a $4.2 billion international deal, a monumental achievement that underscored his status as one of the most powerful black business leaders in the world. In a landscape dominated by corporate giants, Malcolm's triumphs were noteworthy. Yet, in this moment, he was seen not as a successful CEO, but as an unworthy passenger in the eyes of an airline that would soon rue its decision. Malcolm was known for his humility. He carried his achievements like armor, but rarely flaunted them. Today, he omitted the usual trappings of wealth, no press entourage, no bodyguards, just a simple ticket in hand and a desire for a peaceful journey. His demeanor contrasted sharply with the brewing tension around him. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted when a visibly frustrated white couple entered the first-class cabin. They stopped by Malcolm's row, exchanging irritated glances between one another before the husband leaned toward the flight attendant, smirking as he whispered, clearly signaling something. The flight attendant's expression darkened as she turned back to Malcolm, her voice now tinged with annoyance. "Sir, there's been a change," she said, her words firm. "We need you to move to seat 23B. Taken aback, yet still maintaining his calm, Malcolm replied, "But I'm in 1A. It's my seat." The flight attendant's lack of acknowledgement only heightened his confusion. There would be no explanation or apology offered, only an insistence to comply. As Malcolm stood to gather his belongings, the couple swiftly slid into his now empty seat, exchanging furtive glances and avoiding his eye entirely. Nearby, a teenage girl poised with her smartphone, capturing the scene unfolding before her. Her heart raced as she pressed record, unknowingly documenting a moment that would soon resonate far beyond the confines of the airplane. "Wait, that's Malcolm Brooks," she whispered to her mother, her excitement mingling with disbelief. In a flash, she uploaded the video to TikTok, captioning it, "Flight attendants just kicked the richest black CEO out of first class." In just 15 minutes, the video exploded online. Viewers exploded with commentary as hashtags like #Black Excellence, #Corporate Racism, and CEO in Coach began to trend across social media platforms. Outrage echoed around the internet as people rallied in defense of Malcolm, condemning the airline's blatant act of discrimination. Back in the cabin, Malcolm took his new seat in economy, 23B, his demeanor unyielding. He smiled at a mother trying to soothe her fussy baby, assisting her in handling her diaper bag as he quietly opened his laptop. The flight crew remained oblivious to the storm brewing outside, unaware that the man they had humiliated was now the inadvertent catalyst for a larger conversation on race, privilege, and the corporate world. As the video's reach grew, news alerts buzzed on smartphones around the globe. In just 3 hours, Malcolm's misadventure had amassed an astounding 14 million views. Comments flooded in, and the tone was irate. "This is why we need to keep receipts. The disrespect is unreal," one user wrote. Another declared, "I just cancelled my loyalty membership." The hashtag #boycott. The airline began to trend globally, gaining traction with every passing minute. The airline, once a symbol of status and service, found itself spiraling into chaos. As the flight landed, executives were already in emergency meetings, panic overtaking their calm demeanor. Reports flooded in, $70 million lost in pre-market trading. "People are cancelling flights," one executive shouted, their face a mask of disbelief. The brand's app crashed under the influx of users furiously exiting loyalty programs, and as one senior executive demanded, "Who the hell was on that plane?" Someone quickly Googled Malcolm's name. The picture that appeared on the screen delivered a crushing blow. "Oh God, we demoted Malcolm Brooks." The airline's representative, trembling at the podium, issued a statement that they referred to as an apology, attributing the incident to an internal error. The internet wasn't buying it. A television commentator articulated the sentiment that many shared. If he were white and in a hoodie, they wouldn't have dared to move him. Amidst the chaos, Malcolm remained gracefully composed. When approached for an interview, he explained, "I didn't speak up to shame them. I stayed quiet so that the world could speak louder." His calm grace stunned viewers. What many would interpret as victimization had transformed into a lesson on dignity and resilience. Instead of seeking revenge or filing a lawsuit, Malcolm opted to make a profound statement. He announced a donation of $5 million to a youth scholarship fund he named Seat 1A, aiming to open doors for underprivileged students who faced barriers due to bias and discrimination. As news of Malcolm's generous donation spread, so did the ramifications for the airline. The repercussions were swift. Within 48 hours, the airline had lost a staggering $500 million in market value. Investors pulled out in waves as celebrities began voicing their support for Malcolm, amplifying his message on social platforms. Influencers shared their stories of similar discrimination, illuminating the systemic issues pervasive within the industry. One act of prejudice, originating from a single poor decision, unleashed powerful consequences that reverberated throughout the airline sector. The incident not only cost the airline millions in lost revenue, but instigated a movement, igniting conversations around racial biases ingrained within corporate culture. Malcolm stood at an airport runway, watching jets soar gracefully into the sky, a testament to his own journey towards success. He had come full circle, now holding shares in 3 competing airlines. Remarkably, he never uttered the name of the airline that sought to humiliate him. That would be redundant. The world had already taken note of Malcolm Brooks. He simply became a beacon of change, illustrating that respect should never be contingent upon the color of one's skin. His story resonated like a rallying cry, reminding others that one act of prejudice could alter not just individuals but entire legacies. As the video views and outrage continued to soar, communities united online, rallying behind a common cause. The final frames of Malcolm's narrative served as a poignant reminder for all. "If you believe that respect should transcend race, drop a comment below," one message prompted. "Remember, we all have the power to stand against prejudice and champion dignity for all." With each passing day, the impact of that flight lingered in public discourse, a flashpoint for an ongoing and necessary dialogue about race, identity, and respect in society. The airline may have thought they could dismiss Malcolm Brooks, but in doing so, they awakened a movement that would force the world to acknowledge the systemic injustices that persist. At that moment, it became clear. The sky was not just for the privileged, it belonged to all who dared to reclaim their dignity.